Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. If you're new here, welcome. If you are somebody that watched my last video and you decided to stick around, thank you for coming back. Okay, so we're gonna kind of do a little yap and eat session, like I'm FaceTiming you. I have leftover taco bowl. I had like an ounce of that taco meat left, and so I just mixed it with beans and tomatoes and bell peppers and lettuce and onions and salsa, and we're just gonna yap a little bit. So for this video, I kind of had this like idea of kind of just, like since this is like a little bit of like my diary to weight loss, I kind of wanted to document this part. Today I woke up feeling like really sad is the best way to describe it. And then when I kind of tapped in deeper, it was more than just sad. It was like emptiness is like the best way that I can describe the feeling. And I've tried to kind of understand where the emptiness is coming from. So I kind of like went down this checklist, like what I needed, right? Like, am I hungry? Am I tired? Am I too hot or cold? Do I need more water? Do I need to move my body? Like, just kind of going on this checklist of needs. Like, if you're a parent, you've had a baby, you've been around a baby before, when they're new and they can't talk, you kind of have a very similar checklist. Like when they start crying, you go, okay, are they hungry? When was the last time they ate? Do they need a diaper change? Are they too hot, too cold? Are they overstimulated? Whatever, right? And so oftentimes when like you're in a healing journey, if you're somebody that has never been taught how to connect with yourself, your feelings, if you've never been taught how to emotionally regulate or emotional tolerance, if you're somebody that's struggling to just be aware of self in general, that can be a really easy way for you. Well, I'm not going to say easy because getting down to the root of what you're needing isn't always easy, but it can be a way for you to start that journey is what I should say. So I noticed I was feeling empty. I noticed I was feeling sad. And I kind of went down that checklist. And what I realized was that there was nothing in my immediate, like, present moment that I was really needing. I had already had breakfast. I was still feeling full from that. I drank some water, wasn't thirsty. I don't need movement today. Today's actually a day that I am taking off. I realized in the last like 3.5 weeks that I haven't had more than 3 rest days, like true rest days where I didn't do any workouts. And so I decided that today was just going to be like a rest day. Like, I know that my body needs it. As somebody with PCOS, you want to make sure that you're not spiking your cortisol levels too high. And sometimes high intensity workouts or working out too much can actually have the reverse effect that you're wanting. If you're wanting weight loss, it can make it harder to lose weight if you're working out too much or too hard. Anyways, not the point of this video. So I knew that I didn't need that today. So I was really just kind of sitting with that sad feeling, that empty feeling. And one of the things that I talk about a lot, like to my friends, to my community, is how important it is that you mother yourself. Whether you identify as a man or a woman, nurturing yourself is what I mean by mothering yourself, taking care of yourself, like a present, emotionally aware, and emotionally in tune and connected parent would take care of their child. And so if you're somebody that didn't have that growing up and has struggled with how to take care of yourself in the absence of never being taught how to, that can be really hard to figure out what you're needing and how to take care of yourself. And today I knew that mothering myself, nurturing myself looked different than it would other days, right? Not every day you're gonna need a hug and to be tucked into bed and told to take the day off, right? Sometimes mothering yourself is looking at yourself and saying, hey, we haven't moved our body in a week, okay? Gently, like a gentle reminder that moving your body is beneficial for not just your health and not just the way that you feel physically, but mentally, right? Sometimes mothering yourself is telling yourself, hey, you've been in a depressive slump for a little while. You haven't been taking care of your hygiene. Why don't we get up and we just wash our hair, brush our teeth, change our clothes? Sometimes mothering yourself is telling yourself that you need to show up in the ways that you haven't been, and sometimes it's tucking yourself into bed with a good book or a good show, your favorite pajamas, and going to sleep for the day, right? It looks different every day, and being in tune with your body and yourself is the way that you're going to be able to meet those needs every day, because those needs will be different. So then that got me thinking about emotional tolerance, emotional regulation, and weight loss or weight gain, right? I read an article a little while back. I'm going to see if I can find it, and if so, I'll link it in the description, but it talked about how carrying emotional baggage can often reflect on a person's body. So if you see somebody that is bigger than what would be considered an average weight, it could be because they are struggling with repressed emotions, emotional baggage. They could be using maladaptive coping mechanisms that they formed when they were a child. When we're children, our brain isn't fully formed, and so our need for connection, our need for love, our need for nurturing, those are all necessary to survive. Failure to thrive is a real thing, and children don't have the power and the control that we adults have. So meeting those needs, we will form coping mechanisms that aren't healthy but are needed to survive those situations. So some of us, we aren't getting nurtured, we aren't being loved correctly, we aren't seen, we aren't being heard, and in order to fill that emptiness that we have inside, we develop the coping mechanism of overeating or binge eating, right? Sometimes it goes the other way. Sometimes this need to feel like we're able to control our environment or the situation that's happening to us, we will restrict our eating. And so eating disorders across the board are often reflective of a person's ability to emotionally regulate and to cope and to tolerate. And so going back to the emotional baggage and how it reflects weight, like our weight, the baggage that we're carrying on our bodies. Oftentimes, if you're seeing that it's hard to lose weight, it's hard to keep the weight off, if the weight feels like stubborn in the sense of like, I'm doing everything right and it still won't fall off, connecting with that emotional side, with the parts of us that we have been repressing, the parts of ourselves that may be hard to look at, the parts of our life that we've experienced that may not be easily digestible, can oftentimes be something that helps us have that mind-body connection and release the weight that is so stubbornly staying on, and vice versa, right? So going back to how restricting can be a sign of repressed emotions. Oftentimes as children, right? Because a lot of it is rooted in our childhood. I'm not saying that all of us that have eating disorders or unbalanced eating could or have experienced negative childhood, but just for this example, if you are somebody that has repressed eating, or like restrictive is the word I was looking for, restrictive eating, you are somebody that maybe was starved of love and nurturing, and then therefore you subconsciously starved yourself, right? Because you felt like that is what people that loved you did. So that's how you showed your self-love, or maybe that's how you exerted some sort of control. And so even in moments like that where you're restricting how you eat, it could be a sign of something deeper. And so if you're having trouble gaining weight, or if you're having trouble eating regularly, that could be something that you dig into as well. I also read something that was like talking about how if you weren't protected as a child, sometimes that need for feeling protected can trigger the need to eat, because as we eat and we gain weight, it provides like a protective armor over ourselves. So I will include some screenshots of those things like throughout the video, or I'll link what I've read in the description. I just thought it was interesting. So all of that to say, when I was feeling sad and I was feeling empty today, it led me to dig deeper and ask myself, why was I feeling those things? What did I need to do to meet a need in a healthy way? Because to be honest, when I realized I was feeling empty, like literally the moment my brain was like, I'm feeling empty, my stomach started to growl. And I had just had breakfast, so I wasn't necessarily hungry. But again, that mind-body connection, it's like I realized I'm feeling empty inside, and my stomach was, oh, we're empty. And I felt like the only thing I wanted to do was go in and just tear through the pantry. Like, have sweets, have those chips, have a big glass of Sprite, like all the things. Like, it wasn't like I'm gonna go eat broccoli and I'm gonna go eat fucking I'm sorry, excuse me for the bad word. No, I do cuss. I'm gonna go eat a bunch of healthy food. Like, that was not my first thought. My first thought was, I'm going to go and eat a whole bunch of nonsense, things that my inner child would have gone and had, right? Sweets, just nonsense. Chips was a big thing that I liked when I was little. So I noticed that my inner child was needing something, or that there was a deeper part of me that was needing something that I wasn't giving. So, okay, I'm feeling a bit empty. You know, I waited a little while, I had some water, and then lunchtime came around and I was like, okay, we're gonna get something full of nutrients. We'll eat, but we're not going to eat things that are counterproductive to our goals, are counterproductive to feeling better, because I'm not going to feel better after I have that bag of chips. I'm not going to feel better after I eat 5 donuts, right? Like, that's only going to create this vicious cycle that I'm trying to break out of. So in that way, I am mothering myself in a different way right now, right? Sometimes mothering is soft and sometimes it's a bit more firm, and it's saying, hey, that's not what you need right now. If you're hungry, go eat an apple. If you're hungry, let's go and have a nutritious bowl of something, right? If you are needing movement, why don't we do it in a way that's not a punishment, right? I don't want to do a high intensity workout right now. That would feel bad to me. It would feel like I'm punishing myself. So let's go on a walk with the dog, right? So all of that to say, maybe you're struggling to lose weight, and maybe it's deeper than calories in, calories out, and movement, and drinking enough water and getting enough sleep. Maybe your issue to weight loss goes much deeper and much further back than today or the last couple of years. Maybe you're holding on to emotional baggage. Maybe addressing that part of your weight loss journey can actually help you start losing the weight that you're wanting to. Maybe connecting with yourself, you know, the book The Body Keeps the Score can directly correlate to that. Our bodies do keep the score in many different ways. And so if you're somebody that is in a bigger body who is struggling to lose weight, who's struggling to keep the weight off, maybe it's time that we stop taking shortcuts and we start doing the inner work as well, and not just focusing on the outer appearance. Maybe it's so much deeper than that. And when we can right the wrongs that happen to us spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or figure them out and develop better coping mechanisms, when we can truly start to see ourselves and not just our physical parts, maybe that is how we course correct and we develop sustainability and long-lasting results. So that's what I'm doing today. I am sitting here, I am sitting with the sadness, the emptiness. I'm mothering myself, I'm taking care of myself, I'm reminding myself of my goals. I'm being gentle but also firm. And I'm showing up in ways that I didn't have as a child. And I think that that's also part of this journey of course correction. So I hope that you're gentle with yourself today, but I also hope that you're brave enough to start that journey of looking within and asking yourself, is this emotional baggage that I'm holding on to? And if I can put the emotional baggage down, will that correlate to dropping these pounds that I'm trying to lose? All right, I love you guys. I hope that this resonated with some of you. If it did, let me know in the comments. I would love to talk more about this kind of stuff. If I can find the articles that I'm talking about, I will link them in the description, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.